the real secret behind the wealth of Living Faith Church, also known as Winners Chapel. In part 1, we saw that the Living Faith spends 30% on overhead as at the beginning, but presently 20%.
You know, my income in this church was 300 naira at the beginning. What was it? That is the only affordable from our level, because we are not permitted by principle to go beyond 30% of our income. Because you might want to wonder, how did you get that? We are not permitted to go beyond 30% of our income as overhead. So that defines what you can employ. Can I hear your amen? No, there's so much saying, say God told them. In ministry, we have a lot of that. We could not, by our own law, go beyond 30% overhead. You destroy the future of the organization. If it's the income and you have 30%, if that is your agenda, you know how much you cannot go beyond. And that tells how much anybody can earn. Amen. I'm not sure we are doing 20% now. And yet, we have about 38,000 people in our system.
That is instructive. The question is that scriptural? Where did the Living Faith get that financial principle from? According to the Bishop of Living Faith Church, he told us once, some time ago, that when the ministry began in Kaduna, he sent one of his associates, who was a staff of Pujo Company, to get their financial policy. And it was brought. The bishop took it and discovered that the Pujo Company spends 30% on overhead and then 70% on reserve. And so Living Faith adopted the financial policy of Pujo Company. The bishop said so. So the financial principle or policy of Living Faith Church is copied from Pujo Company. We need to understand a little about Pujo Company. Automobile Peugeot France, called AP France, began the Peugeot Automobile Nigeria Limited on May 7, 1971. PAN Nigeria Limited, a joint venture between the federal government of Nigeria and AP France, was incorporated on December 15, 1972, and was commissioned by General Yakubu Gowon on March 1975. PAN commenced as Peugeot Automobile of Nigeria, began production on March 2nd, 1975, with an annual output of 60,000 cars, which later increased to 90,000 cars annually in the 1980s, with more than 2,000 staff on its payroll. The financial guideline of PAN was 30% of income on overhead and 70% as reserve or owner's funds. The Living Faith Church pulled this financial guideline, copied it from PAN when Living Faith Church started in Kaduna. Until today, Living Faith Church operates that Peugeot financial guideline. Listen, you need to understand that Peugeot Company, which was established by France in Nigeria, in partnership with the government, is a French company, and France colonized Africa, colonized some nations in Africa. They colonized Niger. If you go to France, it will be difficult to find any company that spends only 30% on overhead. But because they see Africans as slaves, just to feed their slave and keep them working for them, they give them peanuts. So 30% is spent on overhead and 70% is taken back to France. Check every nation that is run by France. Check any African nation that is still under the management of France. See what is happening to those nations. The people there are seen as slaves. The masters get all the money. The companies they run get all the money. Those who are serving those companies are paid peanuts. And that is what they do. So for a ministry to copy their financial principle or policy, I believe that ministry should be able to take time to find out why such. I don't know what it happened, but we know from what the bishop said, Living Faith operates that financial policy which was copied from or pulled from the financial policy of Pigeon Company. I think, that's me, I think no ministry under heaven should copy the world or any company in the world. We have the best financial policy or guideline, scripturally speaking. And in our next video, I'll be looking at the financial policy of the kingdom. How are we to run our financial policy? What are the principles of the kingdom that we should operate, when it comes to handling finances? Are we supposed to copy the world? I say no. And I will show you why. We'll see in part 3. Living Faith is spending 20% presently on overhead, and 80% is going back to the owner. Whoever is, whether God or bishop or anybody, 80% goes to that owner. Why 20 is spent on overhead? That is what the French colonial masters are still doing to Africans, and I think that's not the best. That's my opinion anyway. See you in the next video, please.